Hi, welcome to episode 2 of the Still Becoming podcast. And today's topic is forgiveness doesn't always solve problems. Whenever there's an offense, whether someone offends you or you're the one that did the offending, it's easy to get caught up in emotions. How the other person reacted that wasn't right, what they should have said or not said, how they should have said it in the first place. The list can go on. It very easily and quickly shifts from the actual offense to the fact that both parties' emotions have now been hurt. And so when they're reconciling, they're saying sorry for having hurt each other's emotions, but not the offense itself. Now, there's a popular story of a couple that was shared in church about how their marriage almost ended because of yam. True life story, I kid you not. So the pastor who told the story said the husband was from a modest background, while the wife was from a more, you could say, abundant background. And it so happened that on this particular day, the wife was cutting yam to prepare a meal, when the husband came into the kitchen and saw her. Now, the way she was cutting off the back of the yam, he felt she was wasting some good amounts of yam, But he didn't say anything and he left. But then he eventually came back again and still saw her doing the same thing. And I think, he reacted. And in his reaction, he raised his voice and he said something around the lines of, "Is this how they raised you in your family? To be wasting yam and food like this?" And as you can imagine, there will be a reaction to such a reaction, And she reacted to the outburst and she said, "In your own family, do they eat the yam with the back?" Now, so far it's that. And, it most likely led to other serious matters that had been brewing between them, And in the end, their marriage almost ended, Meanwhile, the real issue or offense was simply how she was cutting yam. That's it. So you see, after a fight, we often would apologize and forgive each other, but the actual issue that caused it has often not been reconciled. "Oh, I didn't like the way you reacted. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Oh yeah, you're forgiven." Sure, but what caused the reaction in the first place? It hasn't been dealt with. Some while ago, I had a misunderstanding with someone and I honestly wasn't happy with how I handled things. And so I came clean and I apologized to her. And here's the part that shocked her. I apologized for my behavior and how I handled things. However, I was unapologetic for the fact that I reacted in the first place. Because I'm not mad, I'm not a troublemaker. If I reacted, it's because something stirred up that reaction in the first place, And if we didn't deal with it, there was no point moving forward because it was bound to happen again. So what's the moral lesson here? We and you must learn to not get caught up in your emotions during conflicts. I'll share another personal story. Last one. Many years ago, when I was a kid, I wanted to make something for my dad for his birthday. And I was feeling unusually extra creative. And so I took an old picture of his, the one that's printed out, not today that everything is on phones. And then using a cardboard paper and a razor blade, I designed my own version of a custom birthday card. But without realizing it, I had literally destroyed the parts of the picture that wasn't being shown with the cardboard and all of that, which was like 90% of the picture. So I had pretty much destroyed the entire picture. And I still remember my dad's reaction. He didn't like that I had ruined a very good picture of him, but he focused on the fact that I took time to actually make something for him, and I still remember that till today. So we really need to learn to separate people's intentions from their executions. Learn to focus on what they were trying to achieve, not how they tried or most likely failed at achieving it. Many times their intentions were good. Many times their intentions are good. But how they go about it, how they went about it, probably caused more problems than it helped. And then when you're more calm and loving, you can gently now let them know that how they went about it wasn't the best. And you can suggest a better way, for next time. I know it's easier said than done. I know. But that's why we have the Holy Spirit, In those moments, ask the Holy Spirit to give you grace, not to strangle them, not to smother them in their sleep. Remind yourself that you love them and, focus on why they did it in the first place. Focus on their intention. And gradually you would see how joy would start to seep into your heart, Very soon joy will overcome you and it will be a thing of the past. All right? Thank you for giving me a few minutes of your time today. If this blessed you in any way, kindly share it with someone who needs it. Or even if you don't think they need it, still share it with them. Thank you very much. And I'll see you in the next episode. Cheers.